Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston and welcome back to the news. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the most recent cards that were revealed on Twitter. We got a few cards to check out today, so let's jump straight into our first one, a Purple Magellan. Here we go. Magellan, purple character, 3 cost 4k power, impel down, on play. Play a 2 cost or lower impel down type character from your hand. Okay, so I believe this is going to be Hannibal support, which I believe is EB01. So now we have this thing where the extra boosters are supporting themselves instead of, I don't know. It's weird. It feels weird to me. But for that deck, which I don't remember seeing any deck list for. I don't remember at all. Don't think this leader was played, but does it get more playable now that I can spam out a couple characters on board? I think the current purple deck is just way too good, so we'll need several good cards to make this playable. But like most purple archetypes, they really don't have the flexibility to play like the purple Luffy and stuff like that, or like Law, where you can play a bunch of different cards from different sets and different types, and it just works. They're all pretty like type locked, or at least I remember this leader being pretty type locked. So being able to play a 3 cost, get a 2 cost on board that you can then pick up and ramp with Hannibal is pretty interesting. I don't think it brings it into the meta, but maybe we get a couple more cards that are helpful that, I don't know, when they leave the field they do something. That would be interesting. But let's not hang around on Magellan for too long, and we'll jump straight into this Garp. Okay, Garp, black character, 5 cost 6k power, Navy. On play, give your leader up to 2 rested Dawn cards. Activate main, you may rest this character if your leader is Monkey D. Garp, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 1 or lower characters. Okay, so this is, I think it's set 2 Paramount War Garp leader support. I believe that leader is when a Dawn is attached to it, it minuses cost. So if you're giving 2 rested Dawn to it, you're KOing 3 or less with this 5 cost, but you have to rest it. I think it could have probably said, oh, I really can't. I was gonna say it could probably say 2 or less, but dang, that's nasty. Just base power is nasty. I don't know. It's very balanced, and that's why it's hard to talk about, I think. Because giving 2 rested Dawn is great, because your leader's going to then do something with those rested Dawn. And then you're going to be able to... It's a good card. I don't know what the last Garp list that did well was, but it's going to be playing Navy because it's playing black cards. And the Navy cards are still pretty darn good overall. And I think it would be really interesting to see what people are doing with other decks other than like your main decks for black. So maybe this card gets some playability because black's just a good color. But also, man, I can't imagine building a deck for black right now for any leader, because the list must be so hard to whittle down to what you want to play. Because there's so many good playable cards, especially if you start talking about Navy. Man, I wonder what Lucci's doing right now, if it even has any meta relevance. But out of all the black leaders that I can think of, Lucci would probably find this card interesting. I guess it doesn't, because it has to have a Monkey D. Garp leader. So this card's only for one deck, which makes it bad. Man, that was a roller coaster. Let's move on. Yikes. Okay. Usopp, blue character, 4 cost 5k power, East Blue, Straw Hat Crew, 1k counter. On play, if you have 2 or fewer characters with 5,000 or more power in play, play up to one 6,000 or lower character from your hand that has no abilities. Geesh, what is this for? What is this for? Is it Sanji Zoro support? No, that was 2 or less. I have no idea what this is for. Okay, card dev reveals that it's most likely green-blue Sanji support. I think it has the ability to do stuff with vanillas. Which, yeah, okay, so that leader says if you have so few characters that are so many characters on the board, you get to restand on. So this is similar. If you have fewer characters on the board, you get to play a character and then that activates its effect. So I think that's what they're going for with this Usopp. It's a very, like, I had to really, like, I went into card dev and just looked for blue leaders that could use vanillas, effectless cards. And I think that's what it's going for. I could be wrong, because that has just to do with vanillas. This has to do with power. It's very confusing for me. I think that's what it's going for. That leader hasn't been played since it came out. This probably doesn't bring it into anything, but this is another character card that plays more cards from your hand. So we're getting a lot more wide board states. We're trying to make the game have more characters on board by playing a character to get a character. And we also saw that in the most recent set too. Plus you also have like Gecko and all of those cards in black that make you go wide in a single turn. So maybe that's this. It's trying to give other archetypes the ability to go wide off of a single play. But I don't know if it's good for anything right now. Yeah, I don't know what it was built for. Maybe it's built for that Sanji, which is interesting. I would love to see that come back around. I really do want to see leaders be relevant. So if it hasn't been relevant, getting extra support is really cool. But I don't think one card's going to do it. There'll have to be several cards to make it interesting. And we'll just have to see what happens. But interesting nonetheless. Even if it isn't for that, being able to play a card with no abilities for free, basically. So you pay 4, you have 1 character on board already, so this makes it 2, and then you pay a 6k vanilla from your hand. That's pretty interesting. I like the idea, and it doesn't even have to fit in the archetype. It just, you have this card that you can do, and you get a maybe 8 cost play out of it, 4 cost 6k out of it. It's interesting. I hope it gets played. We love our Usopp here, so I hope it gets played regardless of where it goes. Let's move on to Sanji, yellow character, 5 cost 6k power, 1k counter, East Blue, Straw Hat Crew, blocker. If you have 2 or less life, draw on play. If you have 2 or less life, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. Interesting. I like it. The 5 cost 6k is a bit rough for a draw 2 trash 1 though. But it also has blocker, so it's okay. It's alright. It's a very interesting card. I think for 5 cost, I want to do more than just be a blocker and draw 1. But we always like to draw cards, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Pretty interesting, pretty exciting. Decent card overall. I don't know if it sees play. Even with that draw ability, it's quite nice. We'd have to have a decent archetype that wants to use a 6k blocker, or a nice way to cheese it out or something more than what is already on the card. So it has to fit in the deck that it's going in. Because right now I love drawing cards. I can't fault any card that draw cards because that's just what I want to do in card games. I want to draw that card. But it just feels like it could be more. Maybe I'm just spoiled. Let's move on to our next card we got here. Moving on to Nico Robin, purple character, 3 cost 2k power, Straw Hat Crew, 1k counter, blocker. When KO'd, that's cool. Dawn -1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card, and put it into your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. That's what I'm talking about. This is great. As a blocker, having an on KO effect, I love that combination of keyword traits. Absolutely love that they're going to give you something when they attack, because you're going to block with it. That's what it's built to do. And then when it dies, you're going to -1 Dawn, because purple doesn't really care when you're rolling. And you're going to search. I love it. I love this card. It has counter. It's a low cost. It has a really fun effect. And I think that's quite nice. I think that is a really fun card. I hope it gets played. I know purple is doing its own thing right now, but man, that's an interesting on KO effect to dig into your deck for search. Really cool. Yeah, I'm a fan. Next up, we have Tony Chopper, red character, 3 cost, 3k power, animal, Drunk Kingdom, Straw Hat Crew types. 1k counter, Dawn ×2 opponent's turn. This character has plus 2000 power. Interesting. Play, if your leader has Straw Hat Crew type, give your leader or one character up to 1 Rusted Dawn. Okay. So, 2 Dawn to be a 5k defender is whatever. I like that a lot of the cards right now are doing like plus power on your opponent's turn. That's interesting. But for 2 Dawn, I mean, it would be 5k attacking and defending. And then maybe if you're playing like a Zoro or something, it's a 6k attacker, 5k defender. But it gives a Rusted Dawn to a card, which is nice. We already have quite a few, and I believe, I can't remember if it's the new Nami or something, but there's a card that gives 2. There's, I think, a couple cards that give 2 Rusted Dawn, and if they're around the same like cost, those would probably be better. I know the original one was Nami, and it's a 1 cost, but that's all it did. So I don't know. Maybe it's a lot more interesting in like the animal deck, in Chopper's deck. And that's if it's that deck's archetype a little bit better, but I don't know how many cards are Straw Hat. I guess it only needs your leader to be, so yeah, maybe it's for the Chopper deck. Does Chopper have Straw Hat Crew? Let me go check. Yeah, Chopper leader has Straw Hat Crew, so maybe it's meant for that. Which again, not a deck that we saw a lot of play in. So getting a couple extra cards for that doesn't hurt at all. But also, this card's meh. It's okay. I don't think it's extremely good. I don't think it's anything other than just in existence right now. Maybe we will get a couple cards that just blow this card into the zeitgeist, but until then, it's just okay. Okay, last card up. We have the Sarfunkel. We've been waiting for this Sarfunkel. Sarfunkel, green character, 2 cost, 0 power, East Blue type, 1k counter. On play up to 1 Gaiamon from your hand. And I believe the Gaiamon was when there's a Sarfunkel on the board, make blocker. So again, another card that plays a card. We're going wide in this set. We're trying to get as many cards on the board. To put up with decks that are just playing tons of characters. With that being said, I don't like Sarfunkel or Gaiamon. I don't think they're a good combo. I think one needed to be something. These are both just cute characters that have low power and low playability. And it's a bad way to end a video. I should have put this in the middle. But it's the most recent card that came out as of this time, so it is what it is. Sarfunkel's okay. Being able to play a card from your hand is nice. The Gaiamon only becomes blocker when she's on the board, and at 0 cost, 2k, 2 cost, 0 power. They are extremely removable, making both cards bad. Unfortunate. But that's all we have time for today. That's all the cards that have been released up to this point. Yeah, let me know what you think about the cards that were released this week. Which ones are you looking at for your deck? Did any of them spark interest or make you think about what deck you want to be playing when this set comes out? Are they mixing up the meta, or are you just putting them in a binder or sending them back to the shop? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to get more One Piece TCG content, hit that subscribe. And until next time, peace.